Hi everyone, welcome to Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. I'm trying something a little different today in a different spot in my home. We're going to see how this works, y'all. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about the movie that is on Netflix called Passing. If y'all didn't see it, don't worry. We got a lot of details for you. It was a good movie and it's a good relationship topic because so many things happen in that movie. So I'm going to bring up my little partner in crime here, Chef Kev. Hey,
What's
hey,
going on?
how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
So let's first give everybody a little background on this movie. So the movie is set in the 1920s in New York City, Harlem. It's based upon like there's two main characters and they was friends during childhood. They both are very light complexion, and one of them is so light that she can pass as white, and she is passing as white. She's married to a white man. She never told her husband that she is black. And then you have the other character who is very light complexion. She could pass as white, and throughout the movie, when it's necessary, she passes as white. But she is married to a black man. She lives in Harlem. Her husband is a doctor, and throughout the movie, their relationship unfolds. Right. So they reconnect as adults because they meet up in a hotel. And one of the characters' name is Irene. The other character name is Claire. And Claire is the one that is passing as white and is married to a white man, and he doesn't know that she is black. And then Irene is married to the black man. So what happens in the movie, I'm gonna give you just the basis of it. They rekindle their friendship, but it seems as if Claire is attracted, I guess I'll say, Kev, to Irene's husband. And I will say, Kev, I was speaking to one of my friends, and they kind of in agreement with you, and it kind of was changing my views a little bit. That Claire really did want Irene's husband. Um, I was beating you down on that. I was like, there is no way she did not want that woman's husband. But my girlfriend next to it said that yes, she feels that Claire wanted Irene's husband, and Claire ended up becoming very jealous. No, I'm mixed up characters now. Irene ended up becoming very jealous, saying that because Claire was seeming like she wanted her husband, and some of the things that I'm gonna say is a relationship conversation to talk about is one,
Hold
should
on.
you
Who wanted whose husband?
Claire wanted Irene's husband.
Okay.
Um, so one of the relationship topics that I want to talk about is, do you allow in your marriage for, even though she wasn't single, her husband was never with her when she was with the other couple. Do you let someone tag along with you, I guess, to several different events. Is you and your husband, and then it's just another female who doesn't bring her man with her. Do you allow that?
Depends on what your relationship is. I mean, first of all, who wants to be the third wheel? You
Well,
know,
clearly.
some people don't mind. I've done it before. Um, like I said, depending on the situation. Uh, I've had it when I was with my girl and my homegirl would hang out with us, or her homegirl would hang out with us. So I've done it. It's not a problem. Um, I just think that it depends. I don't think nobody wants somebody who wants their mate hanging out with them. That's not. That's yeah. There you go. As long as you're not thirsty for what I got, I'm good. You know.
Well, unfortunately, in the movie, there were several things going on. One, Claire, since she was passing as white, she was kind of longing to do the things and be part of the Black community. She was missing that. So she was missing being around her own people. She was missing, I guess, the dances and everything that she used to go to. So so it was like she was missing that, and she was enjoying it so much because she had the opportunity to do that with Irene and her husband. The other part of this that we could throw in here that kind of pertains to relationships is Claire, unfortunately, she lied to her husband, and she told a major lie about her ethnicity. So it's like, one, she lied to her husband, and of course, lying to your mate about something very significant is not a good thing. So,
Not at all.
right. So, kind of, how would you feel if you found out after several years of marriage that your mate neglected to tell you something significant?
Well, it's a trust broken at that point. And I mean, you got to look at the person you're with. If you the one thing you didn't speak about was her husband was racist. So he said he didn't like black people. He didn't like the N word. He didn't like what I mean. So he expressed that. So it's one thing to pass with somebody who may be on the fence, or what I mean. But you're passing with someone who's actually racist, and so that's definitely misconstrued. So, and that's how I look at that. He didn't want to be married to a black woman, and
He
she
did
knew he didn't
not.
want to be married.
And he also, so Mo said it wasn't Claire being the third wheel. It was more she wasn't invited and always knew when to show up. Well, well, I mean, the first dance Irene did invite her to. I think after that, yes, she was just popping up and just always there. The other problem with Claire's husband is, though, that Claire's husband, like you said, was racist, but he also made this joke, and I don't know how she was able to live with these situations. He also made this joke. He said, when I first married Claire, she was extremely light, and over the years she's been getting darker and darker. So we can't say this word on YouTube, but he said she's starting to look like a N, the N word. And for short, as a joke, he called her he nicknamed her Nig, which is messy. Um, I'm late in law, so sassy girl. There's a movie on Netflix called Passing, and that movie is based in the 1920s, and there's two very light fair skinned women. I'll say fair skinned women where they could pass as white if they wanted to. And so one of them is passing as white and married a white man. The other one, she only passes when she maybe needs to do something. Like if she needs to go into town and shop at certain stores, then she pretends that, she is white. But she lives in Harlem and she's married to a black man. Now, one would probably ask, why would someone even want to pass? Like, why, would they even want to do that? And even in the 1920s, we could probably understand it more because you're going to have more privileges and you won't be discriminated against and all kinds of stuff. But I want to just show y'all, I'm going to share my screen and I want to show you there is this young lady. I want to say she's in her teens, maybe she's 19, and she stabbed this girl, and she's serving 7 years in prison, right? And see, I think I get it now, almost like the imitation of life. Yes. So she stabbed this girl. She's serving 7 years in prison. This just goes to show you. I'm bringing this story up because it goes to show you if you're pretty according to society, you can get away with everything. I never knew prisoners can have a social media page. So this girl posted on her social media page, calling herself pretty gangster. And I mean, all of these men were coming for her, saying, "Oh, I'll send you money to put on your books. We're gonna bust you out of jail. Don't worry about it. I got you." Let me see if I could share my screen. Um, and let's see. Okay. Do you see her? So she's a beautiful girl, but this girl actually stabbed a 17-year-old, and I believe she is 19, and she's serving 7 years in prison before she even went to prison after stabbing the girl who had nerve damage, a collapsed lung. She racked up more charges and more crimes on doing things, right? So let me see if I could share the other picture of her. I think that's the same picture. Let me take this one down. And let me see if I could stop sharing that one. Let me see if I could share the other one, Kev. Um, uh, they showing those are two showing the same two ones. I can't find the other one now, but the other one, they pretty much the girl was pretty. They did pretty much saying they was like, "Oh, babe, don't worry about it. I got you." Hey, Nola. Let me see. I actually knew an older woman who was disowned by her family for refusing to pass. All of her sisters passed. Wow, wow. It's sad and it's crazy. But this girl calls herself pretty gangster, and I mean the men came for her in the social media, all offering to like give her, bust her out of jail, give her money. It seemed like you falling asleep, Kev. Bust her out of jail, give her money. I was just amazed and crazy. I'm like, this is crazy. All because she's pretty. If she didn't look like that, would they be saying, "Oh, I got money for you. I'm gonna bust you out of jail"?
Well, it was a guy who was, I don't know what his charge was, but he had like light skin and green eyes. The women came for him. So, you
Yes,
know,
they did.
you know,
I remember that. And he actually got a modeling contract when he came out.
hmm
Um, he married. Well, I don't think. No, I take that back. He didn't marry her. He got. He left his wife. I want to say that had two of his kids at the time, and he ended up with a billionaire's daughter. They never got married. But he fared all well. Again, I think when for society, if you look a certain way, you get over. Everything comes your way, and that could be why. Hey, Gabor, that's the same thing they did for Prison Babe. Yes, that's what Kevin is saying. But again, I think it's all based on a look. I think if they didn't look a certain way, there's no way they would have got all of this attention, accolades, or whatever. And I think that's kind of what happened in the movie Passing. One, they were beautiful. They were a lighter complexion, so they was able to pass, and there was benefits to pass. There's benefits to passing. Just like to this day, it's benefits when you look a certain way, when you look good, according to society. Yeah, he ended up dating a billionaire's daughter when he got out. and got a modeling contract and movie deals. Yes, which is total insanity. Which is total insanity. But to also get back to this movie a little bit, passing, I think it was crazy that she ended up getting so jealous. Now, I will say this, that the movie leaves it ambiguous. Like you don't really know what happened, but the movie you don't know if what was I gonna say? If Irene pushed her off the balcony, if her husband pushed her off the balcony, or if she fell off the balcony. And but if you think about how jealous Irene became of, Claire, thinking Claire wanted her husband, you can lean towards Irene pushed her off the balcony. And
Well,
how come? Go ahead.
it was a little bit more than just the husband. The kids loved her.
Yeah.
The son was upset because he thought she was going to be there, and he was mad. So I guess in a sense, maybe she thought she was losing her family to her, And so you got your kids, two brown skinned cute kids who love her to death, and then you got your husband. And what I didn't understand, because they said in the book she was jealous. Why would you? Yes, this movie's on Netflix. Why would you send them out and you stay home? That part I didn't get. That part I didn't get in the movie. You know.
Well, yeah. Okay, so Gabor said Irene practically pushed Claire into her husband's arms by letting them go out by themselves.
Yeah, I don't understand that part. But and from what I read in the book, not only that, she was Irene jealous of her. Irene also was the one who notified her husband that she was passing. So in the movie, watching the movie is very Blake is very oblique when you sit there and you look at it because all of a sudden the husband shows up. She sees him on the street with a black woman, and she just doesn't say anything to him. But in the book, she actually tips off the husband that she's passing. I don't know. We didn't actually read the book, but that's what happened. And so, um, and also, I think what it was Irene. I think was a little boring, and Claire was more exciting.
But he loved his wife.
I didn't say he didn't love his wife, but I'm just saying, you know, that 2080, sometimes 20 look good, but it's not good for you. But she got jealous. I think she pushed her. You know me. I think she pushed her. I don't care. Because she alerted her. She opened the window. It's like a setup. She opened the window, lit up a cigarette. Now she didn't know Claire was gonna come by her, but when he lunged for her, she just little give the elbow, little Chris
So,
Webber.
so wait, Gabor, you said you see how loose she was when she went dancing. She was just having a good time, Gabor, because she
Because
had
she
to
ain't
get
been around
out.
black people in about 10 years. She ain't been around black people in a number of years. So she was at these little hossy ditty balls and country clubs. She wasn't dancing.
Well, that's right. Mo reminded me when she asked her going up the stairs, Kevin. I had to watch it again when they was going up the stairs to that party where that was her last, day on this earth. She did ask her. She said, "What would you do if your husband found out?" Why would you be going up the stairs? Why we about to go party? Why would you be asking me what would I do if my husband found out? And then all of a sudden, my husband shows up at this party. How would he know she was there? So Mo also says she pushed the y'all. He said I would. He said, I would have pushed it. Did you see how she was all up on her husband when they went up those stairs to the party? Her eyes were saying, he's my man now. I mean,
Mm-mm.
I had to be, I actually, I had to, my mind was changed, Gabor. Kevin was telling me the whole time that Claire wanted Irene's man. I was like, no, you crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Um, I said she's just her friend and she was happy to be around her own people. But then Mo had to tell me, she was like, no, you need to watch it again. She wanted her man. It was crazy. But here's the thing also, Irene wasn't really, in my opinion, having sex with her husband as much as she should have. She seemed like she was pushing him away all the time. Kevin, they want to know what's the name of the book. I don't think so. I think
The
Claire
book
did
is named
want
Passing. The
to
book is
forever,
Passing.
just for a little while.
The book is Passing.
Oh,
The
the
book
book
is
is called Passing
yeah,
also.
same. It's on Amazon for $5.95.
Yeah. Um, Paulette, but the thing is, how you didn't want to, you didn't, wait, Claire didn't want to live black forever. Oh, you think Claire just wanted to have a little bit fun and then go back to her husband? I don't know. Yeah. So yes.
I think it's the other way around. She didn't want to be white forever.
I think she got tired of it. And then I think also the problem was her husband was, he nicknamed her Nig. And she knew her husband despised, black people. Hey KJ, thanks for stopping by. She needed to be checked at the tea party. Who Claire needed to be checked?
Oh, and at the dance party too, she was a little bit loose with it.
Well, Claire likes to dip. Well, see, the thing is, the husband was very respectful of Irene, his wife, because he did say, listen, I got to go find you
Her
another dance
husband was a
partner.
damn fool.
Why you say that?
Who- I'm gonna go with this woman. I don't give it. That you're a new fool.
No, Claire
You're a
was
new fool. If my wife says, "Oh, go with this woman," I'm not. Y'all go. No. Why you want to stay home? Who coming over?
who coming over. She had to watch the
That's my.
kids.
Why you want to stay home? Who coming over? Why you want me going with her? So either you got somebody coming over, or somebody a fool. There's two fools in there. Hey, y'all better go ahead with that. Who on this
Yeah.
panel would send their husband out with another woman while they stay home? I'll wait.
Sassy.
Raise your hand.
he he didn't really, she was lying to him. Claire was lying to him. So and when he first met Claire, she said she wasn't as dark as she had gotten over the years. So he didn't know, he didn't officially, I think he kind of found out at some point she was black, but he didn't want to admit it to himself. Especially when she started getting it starts when she started getting that. Where does the book end, Kevin? Do they address Claire's husband not knowing his daughter is biracial? They do not, I don't think. I think they
I don't know because we didn't. We was going to read the book because we really wanted to know the ending, but the ending is still
ambiguous.
ambiguous to the point where we sitting there like, well, why buy the book? But from what I read online, they did state that in the book, Claire. I mean, Irene gets jealous of Claire, and she's getting very jealous because she assumes that Claire is having an affair or is going after her husband. And it does say in the book that she tips off her husband.
Which was
Now the other,
nasty.
yeah,
Irene was going through some type of mental issues, always lying down. She Irene had issues because she also didn't want the husband to really raise the kids in reality and tell them, look, you're black boys. Racism is out there in the world. She wanted the kids to live in a bubble. And he also said, I don't know if you caught this because I was watching it again. He also said, I'm tired of playing second fiddle to your charity. Irene was not really paying enough attention to her husband. And
no,
that's why, him having fun with Claire was easy.
because here's the deal: you're a stay-at-home mom, and you have a maid. You have no excuse. I don't want to hear I'm tired. Your legs should be in the air behind your back doing flips and tricks and all types of whatever. You can't run. I'm tired. I don't want to hear I'm tired. So what is it? You have a woman. What did you say? She said, "Oh, did you clean the boys' room? You better get to it before they get home." It ain't like she help out too much. You got a maid. You no.
Yes, this was in the 1920s though. It was
Mm-mm.
based in Harlem in the 1920s, and back then it was a whole different ball game. And watch it. I thought it was a really good movie. And Claire never told her husband, which is a problem in and of itself, that she was black. So she was able to pass for white, and she did. And her husband believed she was white. But I think at some point the husband realized something wasn't right, but he didn't want to admit to it. That's what I'm saying. She puts Claire into her husband's hands. He found Claire interesting. He seemed like he was in love. He was in love with his wife. Good boy? Are you saying in love
Clear.
with Claire? He
Okay.
loved.
Let's look at the signs. Let's look at the signs. She sends him to a party with his woman. He comes home, and the boys are excited because they think Claire's going to be at the house. You think he wasn't excited either? Then, when they go into the party, he runs up the stairs and leaves his wife behind. His wife behind. Now, I don't know who y'all dated back in the past. I see about 3 or 4 arguments coming just from his actions. The fact that I'm gonna sit there and even if she said go with her, you know hell and well you better not go. That's a fight. You coming in the house getting the boys excited over somebody else. That's a fight. Then I'm gonna run up the stairs and with another woman and leave you behind and call you slowpoke. That's a fight. He a fool. There's no, nah, baby, come on, let's go. So, mm, she a fool and he a fool.
He
So I
said.
don't care if it's the 20s, the 1920s, the 1820s, 2020. I don't matter. You don't do stuff like that. No.
He said,
So
Bo said no, he wasn't in love with her. She was in love with them. Yeah, Claire was in love with both of them. Yeah. Claire was having fun. I think Irene felt like Claire was overstepping. She was even letting the maid take breaks. Claire should have been checked. The maid needed a break though. Claire was trying to help out. So everybody's in
this is where
agreement.
this is
Go
no,
ahead.
this is where it should have stopped. You don't knock on somebody's door without calling. Okay, the 1920s, you in the white side of town. Claire, Irene never had a phone. You better send a kite or something, but you don't just pop up.
Remember, she was sending her letters that she wasn't responding to.
True,
She was
true.
sending her letters she wasn't responding to. And so she was so desperate
And
to.
that right there just told you enough. It's like sending a text message. You don't respond. You don't want to talk. I ain't gonna keep sending you text messages. I
I
sent you a
know.
letter. You didn't respond. Okay.
I know that's right. She said, "I've been married 20 years. 20 years. You get tired of your husband, but I wouldn't give him away." Very true. Irene messed up. She messed up. Claire was supposed to be checked when she walked up and rung the doorbell. Irene tried to check her, but she punked out and was like, "Oh, I'm glad to see you. I'm glad you're here." Not a kite. So it's crazy, but here's the thing, Kevin. With the new pretty gangster that I showed, um, would you put money on her books? Let me share this with everybody again. Because here's the problem with society in the world. If you look a certain way, you get over with everything. Let me see if I can share it again. Let's see real quick. Mm, am I sharing it? Let me see.
Gotta work on this shit, but there you go.
Oh yeah, wait, I didn't. Oh, it didn't come up. It's
Not the
not
way you
showing
want
it.
it.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. It's showing.
Yeah.
You see it? You see her?
Yeah.
Okay. You donating money?
First of all, she looked like she's 12,
She young.
14. So no. And I'm not sending nobody no money on their books unless you're a family member, first of all. But you got to realize, I have seen jobs where pretty women, white, blonde hair, blue eyes, or of a lighter shade, come into a job with no experience, got some nice breasts, pretty smile, and they get the job. I've seen that several times. I've seen it several times. So it's nothing new. It's nothing new. You
So
know,
right, Gabor said she should have been checked when she made Irene pass around her husband's unknowingly. That's dangerous. There's no way the actress playing Irene could have passed in real life. That is true too. I didn't think she was one that could pass in real life. Because I'm like I could see it from a mile away. I don't think she would have
well,
passed
if
in
you
real
notice,
life.
she kept that hat down like she was scared. That's the other thing too that I didn't get. You're talking about the 20s. Why would you play that? Like, why would you play that? You could get killed. You know what I mean? We're not
Well, I
talking
mean
about going.
they use those actresses, but technically people that were able to pass back then, they passed.
No, they did. But what I'm saying is, we're not talking about walking into a store and getting a soda, or Irene. If you look at Irene, she yelled, yeah, she yelled. She held a cab. She got a cab, and she was in the store buying something for her son. Going out to dinner, I wouldn't have pushed it, but it was an empty restaurant because it's not a crowd. But I wouldn't do that to a point where, because it could be dangerous. I mean, just me. And back in the 20s, you can kill black people now and get away with it, but back then you definitely could. And so I
Well,
wouldn't
you
see take the
notice
chance.
Irene was nervous.
Yeah, she had a hat down over her eyes, and she barely looked up. She just kind of, and she could slide in and slide out. So and that could be, but I mean, you know,
I
people
think you're
pass
right, Nola. I think you're right. A lot in that time period, a lot of people didn't they hadn't seen a lot of light skinned black people, and that's probably another reason why they were able to pass. That they were able to pass like that.
because Irene had black features. She had big lips and big nose.
They both, to me, the actresses that they chose to do the movie, they both had features of black people. But again, I think Callie hit it the nail on the head. There wasn't, they didn't see too many light skinned black people, and that's why they was able to pass through. To be honest, on the friend level, they were messy to each other. You're talking about Irene and Claire were messy to each other. I think Irene was messier to Claire than Claire was to Irene. I just felt like that. Irene really didn't want Claire around, but for whatever reason, she kept giving in. I feel like Claire was just having fun. Like when they went to the first dance together, she was just so happy to be at the dance. She was just dancing. Listen, Irene was real dirty to her because Irene told the guy there at the first dance, she was like, "Oh, she black." Like, why did she have to tell on her at that dance?
Well, here's the deal. She sat in the room while the husband was using all types of racial slurs. Why would I even want to be around you? That's how I looked at that. You know, so
I
you know,
agree. I agree, Ali. I hope I said your name right. I do agree with you. Yes, that's so true. Black people can point out passes before white people, except when it came to Rachel.
who's that?
You do. She was a white woman who,
Oh, NAACP.
yeah, that got away with being black. I want to say she got away with it for over. I hope I'm not messing this up, but I want to say it was over like 15 years. She got away with it for a long time. I forgot who outed her. But you are correct. She did. She passed. Irene was dirty then. Yeah, Irene was dirty for doing that. Irene seemed like she was jealous of Claire from the beginning. From the moment Claire came back into her life, she was jealous of her. She also remember, Mo, you reminded me of this when they was going to the dance the first time. When Irene came down the stairs, she said, "Oh, I guess I'm underdressed." She was like, "I guess I'm underdressed." So she was jealous of the way that Claire was looking. So Irene had jealousy issues. Oh, you went to school with a lot of them. They just said they had a black dad and no one had ever seen. Yeah. People started outing this Rachel. I forgot what made them start outing her. I want to say they started to out her because she got a promotion to like the highest level in the NWACP or something like that. And then people started saying, people started digging and saying she wasn't really black. That's because the masses didn't know who Rachel
Well,
was.
she went to Howard. She played black in Howard.
Oh, she went to Howard. But if people knew who she was before, they would be able to tell. I think so too. But again, you know what I think how she got away with it too, because we're so integrated and mixed now. And the way she was wearing her hair and everything, she to me, if I didn't find out, I wouldn't have said, "Oh, she's not black."
She was only for 1 year. She was on NAACP for 1 year, but I guess somebody outed her out. But yeah,
But did she get up? Did they out her because she got a big promotion?
I guess somebody knows somebody, especially in social media. Somebody outed her, but I don't know. I wanted to do the husband though.
She was married.
Before, yeah, she was married, but I wanted to
There was a doctor, Dr. Albert Johnson, in the 1930s who passed away for 40 years until he decided to out himself. Wow. Google him. He looked like a regular light skinned black man. Wow. I'm going to have to look that up later. That's interesting. So see, you know what? I think they end up missing their culture. I think they end up missing, their people. At least I know in the movie Passing, that's what happened with Claire. She got tired. She longed to be back doing things in her culture. Um, oh, her family outed her, Kevin.
Oh, okay.
Her family out of her. Wow, your own family, her own family did her dirty. You know what? I'm starting to remember the story now. That is correct. Her family did out her. Was it her parents who outed her? Yes, saying that she wasn't black, and because she tried to portray, I think, also that she grew up poor and all of this other stuff, and they was like, no, she grew up with a good family. It's coming back to me now, and yeah, her family did out her. I think they were sick of seeing her talk nonsense. I think a lot of black people are so accepting of everyone. They let anyone claim they black now. It's a trend. Back in the day, poor white women would act like black women because they know that they could get away with it probably, good boy. Yeah, that's crazy. Would be picked first by a black man. They would be picked first by a black man. Yeah. Let me see. Yes, that's what I got from it. Yeah. I think Geraldine is talking about that Claire just longed to be back in the culture. She missed it. Because I almost thinking too, Kevin, she said something to Irene like, wow, you live in Harlem. And remember, she was like, wow, you're married to a black man. She had assumed Claire when she first connected back with Irene, she assumed um that
Irene was
Irene
passing
was
because in a
passing.
restaurant.
Yes.
Because it was in a restaurant,
Yep. Yep.
and so
Which
that was that. But I mean, it was evident. That was obvious that she did say she missed it. I thought she was going to have an affair with one of the other people as she went to dance. That's what I thought. I didn't think she would go or look sought after her friend's husband. That was just and that makes sense because Irene felt like, okay, she coming for my husband. I'm a snitch. Why should you go after? People know your secrets.
yeah, well, I only
What's
got
that?
the
What's that
information.
movie? Why did I get married? When he says everybody got secrets, and he outed everybody. That's the man you leave alone. So she went after her. And then when that didn't work, she pushed out the window.
Yeah. I'm
Give
gonna
it
have to
edge.
look this stuff up. Ali, thank you. The real welfare queen was a white woman posing as a black woman. Wow, I gotta look some stuff up. We gotta look this up. Let's see. Um, Now she's braiding hair out of her kitchen. Who is Rachel? Oh my God, I can't with her.
Mm.
Um, Yes to a black man. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, that movie touched on so many relationship issues because it touched on jealousy. It's like, should you allow someone else in your relationship that is not coupled? Should a third party be joining you at a dance in several events? Because Claire became like their I don't know, their third wheel. She went with them to about 3, 4 events. Also, the other problem in this movie is there was a big lie told. Does your mate have the right to say, you know what? I'm out because you lied.
Of
And
course.
Claire told a major lie. Okay, mind change. She pushed her. Paulette, I ended up changing my mind too because I was fighting Kevin tooth and nail, saying no, Claire did not push her. I swore the husband pushed her, especially because when the cops came, everybody was in agreement that she just fell. And I thought they was covering for the husband. And then Claire was, I mean, Irene was passing out like, oh my God, she's gone. So I'm like, how you falling out and you pushed this woman from the 6th floor. So that's why I really thought that her husband had did it. But as I started digging and realizing that, yo, Irene was jealous of Claire. Irene is the one that told Claire's husband that she was there. Irene was dirty.
If OJ can cry at his wife's funeral, she can have the little effect that she had where she was throwing up and shaking, and her husband had to grab her. You pushed her. That's why I was laughing. Like, how you shaking and you can't look at her and you pushed the shorty.
Oh, so Claire couldn't have foreseen that Irene would be loving so well as a black woman. Irene was living better than Claire in most regards. Irene was living very well. She was
This is
living
what
very.
happens. No, I'm gonna school you. When women come up in your house and they see what you got and they got less than what you got and they put themselves in your shoes and they start seeing themselves and it's like, oh, I don't want a man like that. I want that man. She got your kids laughing at you. She got your kids looking at you. I mean, and the maid likes her because you give the maid a break and this, that, and the third. Everybody, you know what I mean? So you got to be careful who you allow in your circle.
See, I might have fell for the Claire trap also because I really was feeling the whole time, Kevin, that Claire was just longing to be back in the culture, not longing for my man, longing to be back in the culture. So that
So you gonna tell me she's in New York City? She couldn't find her way up to Harlem to find a party, the Cotton Club, Apollo Theater, all those places. She couldn't find a place herself in one of those places.
she wanted to go with somebody familiar so she could feel comfortable. And I think, like I said, I really think that Irene just she did her dirty in so many ways. You gonna tell my husband, yo, you that dirty and low? Wait, look, Kevin, OJ didn't do nothing. LOL.
I'm not saying he did, but
The husband was done at the dinner table when he said, "How did someone as intelligent as you become so stupid?"
I remember that comment.
Yes. Yes, yeah. it was so much going on. It was so much, like Cheryl Underwood said, I will toss you your shoes outside. You're not coming up in my house. She sure did. I mean, I think it's a tricky situation, um because they were childhood friends, but they lost contact. And really, Irene seemed like from the door she never wanted to really reconnect with Claire. Claire kind of pushed her way in, and she pushed her way in because she needed a friend that was going to keep her secret. Because remember, she already knew Irene was going to keep her secret, maybe because when her husband came in, like you said, in the hotel, she kept the secret then. She didn't say anything. So she thought hanging with, Riri was going to be easy for her. The husband wanted to move his family away from there, and she was focused on the other woman wants. He didn't want Claire. Yeah, the husband definitely didn't want Claire. The husband was in love with Irene. He was.
Well,
You
if he
feel
didn't want Claire, he showed it in a bad way.
Kevin, he danced with her because pretty much that one night, right? But when she wanted to dance again, he said, "No, I'm gonna go find you somebody."
Smart move.
All right then. So what do you mean? So why are you
You
saying
want the
his?
other two dumb ones? Going to the party without her. Stupid. Stupid. Either I'm going with my wife or I'm not going.
He messed up.
Okay. Then running up the stairs and leaving his wife behind, and he's running upstairs with another woman. They playing, laughing and joking while his wife is. No, 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 no. He a new fool. Go downstairs, hold your wife's hand, and bring her up the stairs. You right, man, please.
He messed up. Okay, but let's do this. So now we're all pretty much in agreement that Riri, Irene probably pushed Claire off the balcony. Do
Elbow.
you right? But do you think her husband realized that?
I don't know because I think what happens is it happens so fast, and he went lunging. Um, Here's the deal. Even though she misled him, he's angry because his feelings is there. He loved her.
Yes.
Okay. When she fell out the window, you saw how devastated he was. You know. So you saw how devastated he was sitting on the side. I don't think he pushed her. I don't think he pushed her because they said he fell. I think he lunged probably to choke the hell out of her, and Claire gave it a oh.
Yeah, I think so, Momo. He's saying that Irene was going up them stairs slowly because she knew that she already told Claire's husband that look, she's going to be at this party, and she had
Okay,
that.
but I'm not leaving my wife at the bottom of the stairs and running up the stairs.
No, we understand that, but which I think Mo was trying to say is that Irene had some guilt in her because she knew that she told this girl's husband that she was going to be at this party, and she probably
She was
told.
so guilty she pushed her.
Well, she pushed that because it was convenient. It was convenient. It was
She
convenient.
was so guilty she pushed her. I felt guilty. I'm gonna give you the elbow. I'm
Well,
gonna give you. I'm a. She act
she
like they was under the backboard going for a rebound. She gave her the elbow. Boom, knocked her over.
she knew her husband was coming, and it was a
She gave her the
coincidence.
Charles Oakley. Bam.
Yeah, I
She
agree
gave
with you,
her the
Mo.
Charles Oakley. That's it. Knocked it up. Knocked out the window.
Yeah. Mo, I agree with you. She knew the husband was coming. It was a coincidence. She went to the window just in time. I do believe that also. Now that
It,
I
it, it was
realize,
opportunity. It was opportunity. I'm not saying that was a setup. It was opportunity. The opportunity presented itself. She gave her a little you know. Wasn't a flagrant foul, but it was a foul. Then she fell out the window. That's what that was. That's how I see it. Because if you see when she pulled her arm back, she didn't put her arm here. So her arm was coming from the back up. Her arm was coming up forward. When she brought her arm down, it was behind her. So
Yes.
if
So
anything, she should have pulled her out the way. If he was coming for her, she should have pulled her out the way. That would have been my reaction to pull her out the way.
So yes, the show is on Netflix. It's really interesting. It's really good, and it talks about. It just shows how back then people went passing, but it shows that when you try to also pretend to be somebody that you're not, how you long to go back to your roots.
But go
How
around,
you,
come around. It's going to come when you. Here's the deal, and we talked about this on the personal about changing who you are to be with somebody. At some point, your representative is going to go away, and the real person is going to show up. And that sometimes it's emotional and mental. It's physical. She was getting darker. She couldn't help it. That's who she naturally was. You know what I mean? How do you know you're not going to have a black kid?
she took the chance. If my husband was chasing another woman this year, I would have pushed her and collected the insurance money. Yeah, I just, when as I watched the movie, like I said, the top problematic things for me was one, Claire lied to her husband, okay, which we all know is a problem. But not only did she lie, she told a major lie about her background, her history. So I'm guessing when people do that and when they did that back in those days, did you deny all of your family? Because obviously you can't introduce them to your mother, your father,
Well,
your
her
brothers,
parents
your
died.
sisters.
Her parents died. Remember, she said her parents died.
Oh, I forgot she said that. She sure
Her
did.
parents died, and then when she got out, she graduated. I think she's in a group home or something. When she left, she graduated. She left.
Yeah, you're right. She did say that.
So I'm
But I
assuming
mean,
she's
other people. Go ahead.
I'm assuming she had no siblings. I'm assuming she had no siblings.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So I'm guessing, though, other people that do that, do they end up denying their whole family and just changing their whole identity? Um, Outside of that, if we speak about Irene, oh, she lived with her aunts.
That's because her aunt
Remember,
died. Yeah, her aunt died.
when you pass in the day, your family was non-existent. Got it. Yes, when you passed in the day, your family was on this. Okay. She lived with her aunts. Okay. So her aunts must have really been able to pass too. And I wonder if her aunts were passing. Like it's just interesting to know. Also, the other problematic things, as I said, Kevin, Irene wasn't sexually attending to her husband, like at all. She gave it to him when she felt like it, but I saw a lot of times she rejected him, and and like he said, her charity, he said, I feel second to your charity, which we all know that's a major problem in and of itself. When your mate is feeling like either your job, your whatever, is taking precedent over them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a problem. The
Because
other
the
problem,
job brings money, charity don't.
true. The other problem is Irene's insane jealousy of Claire was problematic. If you're going to be that jealous of a friend, then don't be that person's friend.
But at that point, by the time she got so far into it, and this is where I say the other stupid thing is she, her husband, she don't want to see the bad person because the kids like her, the family likes her, whatever. But the husband, if you pay attention to your lady and you know she's jealous, you gotta fall back. You gotta fall back.
Gabor,
Okay?
somebody mentioned that earlier. It's that movie Imitation of Life. That was the saddest thing. And then I
Mhm.
think if we're thinking the same movie, At the end, the daughter finally did come to the funeral, and she was like running behind the casket, talking
Yeah,
about
she's running.
mama.
Her mother died. Her mother died,
Yeah,
and she was running behind. Yeah.
she couldn't risk it. Yeah. I remember watching the movie Imitation of Life. The woman passed for white and left her dark skinned mother. Her mother was a maid. Her mother was a maid in the 20s or so. She turned her back on her black side to pass. That movie is so incredibly sad. And yes, she did. She left her family behind because she wanted to pass. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. Okay. All right. Anything else? Any comments before? Let me see what we got here. One second, Kev. I was not going to say, but yes, it was so sad. In the ending, she regretted what she had done. She sure did. She regretted it all when it was too late. And then that's the movie Imitation of Life. We're talking about there, Kevin. No, this isn't a movie. This was real life. I seen both Imitation of Life movies. So, oh my God, that was real life. That's crazy. Um, that was a good movie. I cried. I cried every time I seen it too. Imitation of Life. It was too much. This one, Passing, was very sad at the end. Because when you see the look on Claire's face when her husband is coming into the party saying, I want to say he said you lied, right? um he was like, you lied. And I just felt, I felt the sadness in her face. But the saddest part, that I wasn't prepared. I didn't know she was going to go over the balcony and not be with us anymore, and that she was going to die. It was crazy. My father can pass. He told me stories that what white people say to him about black people. Then he tells them he is mixed. It's crazy. This only in your family is part of passing. You can't be white with a black family. You sure can. You sure can. It's just insane. So overall, first of all, thank you everybody for joining me for this live. Truly appreciate it. We're gonna close out, Kev, because I'm tired. But in closing out, overall, what do you have to say?
About the movie. Well, I like the movie overall. I like the black and white cinema of it. The way they showed it, it was almost like it was made in the 20s. So I did like that. I like them showing a successful black family in the 20s. A doctor with his, she had a maid. You know what I mean? So you saw them, but they also had to deal with the racist situation. So you know, so I liked it, enjoyed it, and it just, you know, to me, it was a good movie. It was overall a good movie. I think I said at the end, you're guessing. It kind of left you guessing. Maybe they said the book was the same way. But I know you wanted to definitely see if she pushed her. I think she did. But it leads for good conversation at the end. So for me, I thought it was a good movie. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars.
I like that. Yeah, I think so too. I think the acting was phenomenal. It showed a lot of things to talk about in terms of relationships. I do think Irene needed to pay a little bit more attention to her husband, but I also believe that her husband truly, truly loved her. I think he engaged with Claire in terms of having fun with her, because I think Irene was a little uptight also. She wanted to pull her sons out of one school to go in another. She didn't want her sons to learn about life, learn about sex, to learn about anything. Irene wanted to live in a bubble. And Irene had the nerve to kind of judge Claire, but Irene also, when it was necessary, she would pass for white. And remember that Irene said to Claire, whatever, she was like, not to Claire, like when Irene went to go get the toy for her son, she was cool with passing. So don't be judging Claire when you do the same thing when it's necessary. But she also told Claire, oh, my husband could never pass.
Hmm.
So it was interesting. But guys, if you did not see it, please see it. Just stopping by to support. Like the video and subscribe. Kudos, Queen. Thank you, babe. Thank you, Marsha. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. I'm about to watch it. Thanks for reviewing. Yes, Sassy Girl, it's really good. And when you watch it, come back. Let me know. Do a little comment. Let me know how you feel. Monique gave it 5 stars, and I'm
I
gonna
want
give
to.
it 5 stars also.
I want to give. I want to say this though.
Uh-huh.
The actress Tessa Thompson, right? Tessa, yeah. She has shown her skills on different. She was in a Marvel movie. She was in
Creed.
the Creed movie. Also Sylvie's Love. Where she was messy in that one too, but we didn't get to that one. Where she was messy in that one too, but she I like her acting chops. She's showing her chops all different in different situations. I like that.
She is good. All right. So let's go, Kev. Thank you so much for coming through, everybody. And good night, y'all. Good night, Kev.
Deuces. Good
Deuces.
night.
Good night.